my absolute pleasure to have Professor Nadkarni, or Nadu as we used to call him, and Neeraj Chandra on the panel here. In many ways, I think they represent the two sides of the coin. The design and its application and its relevance for business. The teaching as against its utilization in terms of money and revenue. So in many ways, I think the topic, the occasion and the audience is absolutely appropriate to the subject for today's panel. Right? On one hand, we have the whole occasion of the World Industrial Design Day, which raises two questions. One, what does industrial design mean to the world? And two, what place do industrial designers have in the world? Right? Again, Neeraj, if you look at the audience here, we have a gathering of students as well as faculty from various design schools, both in Bangalore as well as outside. And in many ways, when I look at them, it does kind of remind me of my own time when I was graduating out of school, right? And I had a few questions that would come up even as we waited for various companies to come in for campus interviews and so on, right? The questions were, one, of course, will I get into a nice, exciting job, or will I get into some boring job somewhere? Right? And that was one discussion, one thought in my mind. The other thought, of course, was always, will I be recognized? Like the gentleman that asked there, will there be my signature on everything that I do? Will I get money? Right? Will it be money just for one day? Will it be money for my lifetime? Will I have a career that progresses, that allows me to grow? Right? And in many ways, I think that's the key question that's being possibly asked within the minds of designers, right? Even as they get out. And when I try to relate that problem, and I think you already captured it absolutely right, these are the same problems that companies and businesses face. Right? They are no different. Will we have products that will make money for us? Will these products make money for us just for today, or will they set the foundation for the future? Will these products help us establish a brand by themselves, or will they be established by the cricketer or the film star who's advertising this product today? Right? So in many ways, I think these questions are already being asked and addressed by the businesses from their perspective. And in that sense, I would say there is already a role and value established for design and the designers. But having said that, I think the first question that I would like is possibly to Neeraj here. Does industrial design tend to be a small department somewhere within the company? Does it tend to be played and called upon only by function? For example, do you call upon the design team to say, hey, I'm now planning a refresh, now come and help me in this, or now I have a promotion to be done, help me design a poster or help me design a package, or do you see it intrinsic in everything that you do? And I have one related question, also based on your own experience, your own seniority. Is design a subject only for the brand manager and only for the department, or is it a subject for the boardroom? And in that sense, I'm just elevating the question of design.
I think to answer your first question, is design embedded in a location or is a more omnipresent thing? In my estimation, I don't think there's any doubt that design is not a function. Design is a way of looking at things, and therefore it has to be omnipresent. So for example, when somebody is, let's say, a product development person, he is as much a designer as somebody who is what you call, quote unquote, doing industrial design after graduating from school. So therefore there is a huge element of the thinking of design being embedded into everything. Similarly, when a brand person is thinking in terms of what to do in terms of promotion, it is design. So one is the process of design, the other is the skill sets needed to design a particular type of thing. They may be more specialized. So yes, there may be a certain process which may need a set of skills which are embedded in one particular group of people, but the thinking of design has to be omnipresent. And the more we integrate it, the more we liberate it from the clutches of one group of people, the better it becomes. The recognition that design is an important thing permeates right across up to the board level. May not be by the words which you use, may not be by the fact we call it design, but a lot of innovation is design. And innovation is a buzzword which is coming across in various places. So certainly better design, better products, better connections is recognized by boards. It may not be recognized in the very vocabulary which you are talking of, but it's certainly an important factor.
Thank you, Neeraj.
I somehow disagree with Sir, because he says that it's not functional, it's a visual or something. I personally feel that whole biscuit is a conclusion of all the tastes human have. It has got taste, it has got visual, it has got texture. So, and they are all functional things. If that fellow who has not designed a proper taste, which people like it, it will not work. Not only visually it will work because it is a good looking. So I think there is nothing like any product has to be functional first. Then you go on adding the things. It is all added values. But if biscuit tastes very badly, you will not touch it, even though it is very nicely packed and very nicely showed on the shelf. So I think that's why I am very much against this argument that first the product has to be functional. Then you can make it more interesting to see the people, so that they can watch it and they can enjoy it, their visual aspect and other things. But I think you cannot bar with the functional aspect of this most important product. I remember we used to eat earlier those biscuits which never have any packaging. They were coming with these transparent foils and sort of. And still we are eating it because they are so tasty. Now this commercial value has come, the branding, the new philosophy has come. I don't know why they have pasted that branding thing. Each product can become branding without its visual thing, I personally feel. Because I have seen the product which are sold without these additional stickers. So I think the product must be functional first, and then you enjoy yourself putting all those stickers on the thing, yeah? Okay, thank you.
Right.
I think that's a very valid point. You're absolutely right that design is not just about visual, but in that statement itself is the fact that designing the product is also design. And therefore functionality is not bereft of design. Functionality is part of design. And therefore when I gave an example of, let's say, Rexona ball, it is not just for visual, it is for functional. So you're absolutely right. Function is part of design. And therefore design still is very important.
And possibly I'll pick up on another aspect that Neeraj talked of. The fact that design is not restricted to the design community. In many ways, it is a process and a philosophy that has to permeate everything that we do. And I was just reflecting upon, Nadu, your own response to a student's question, saying that it is not just the job of a designer alone to design. It is really the job of everybody to look at how you make what you're doing or what function you're serving much more value added and much better, right? Such that there is meaning derived, there is a purpose derived out of that particular aspect, right? So I think, again, that whole question of design thinking versus designer, right?
I think we have stereotypes of what we think is design. Those stereotypes should break. So I'll give you an example of design which is in an area where you don't think of design. So when you think of selling and you're having a truck in which you've packed your cartons and you go and deliver at a shop, you say, where the hell is design in this? But there's a hell of a lot of design there. So if you look at a Pepsi or a Coke truck, the truck is designed so it can carry cartons or trays better. It is easier to open and deliver. So design is in every walk of the business. Design is not graphics alone.
Right. Well, thank you so much for that, Neeraj. A related question that I have is, you've, of course, been in the FMCG industry for a long time, but then I would assume that you have as much knowledge of how design applies to various industries, right? The question that I have is, what do you see as demands being placed on the design function, let's say the design department or the design function within a company, both now and going into the future?
I'll attempt to answer that by thinking about the pain and trauma I cause to designers. Very often, designers come back with having followed the mechanics and the, I would say activities of design without having a design idea. And I think going forward, having an idea as part of a design is one very great requirement. So somebody will say, yes, I'm designing graphics and show me 51 colors. Or one is designing without really having an idea of that. So ideas, insights are going to be very important in getting great designs around. The second thing which is important is that designs have to be integrated. They're not just for looks. They're for looks, functionality, and as I said, that element of madness where they leap. So if a piece of design doesn't have that leap, it is not good enough. If it doesn't go into the sublime, then it's decent, but it's not great. So that is the second kind of stuff which I think would be needed. I think at the third level, design has to pay for itself. Right? It cannot be something which is, in today's society, in today's environment, you have to be effective and efficient, and design has to pay for it, rather than being just a leap of faith.
Thank you so much. And therefore, a related question to Nadu. What do design schools do? I'm sorry. So Professor Nadkarni, so if I were to ask you, how do you see design schools getting up to this? The whole demands that are being placed by businesses now on what design should deliver, how much of value they should deliver by being integrated with the rest of the company rather than just as a department by itself. And so how do design schools bridge this gap?
I think, again, you are thinking in compartmental.
Yes.
I think a design cannot just justify for their own thing, activity. Because what they are doing for whom? They are doing for society. The company is doing for why? They are getting profit so that the designer gets their salary. Yes. So all these are interconnected. And I think all we have to work together to make that design a success. So that everybody is happy and you get next year some promotion, isn't it? To the designer and the marketing people and those people who are involved. And you don't get success just like that. People are not full. Unless your product is good or your product is functional, your product helps to raise his lifestyle, then people will buy it. And that's why it is, one cannot think in departmental wise all these things. It's a collective thing and fight together. Sometimes some good ideas come from marketing people because of their observation in the society and the other environment and so on. Sometimes ideas come from different sources where you cannot think of. A common man can suggest some idea. So all these are interrelated, but you must be sensitive enough to select the good and right ideas.